Welcome back to the Green Beans Go channel. It's your host, me. And I will be very excited for this video. I have a lot to share, but it will have to wait until I give this warning. And I also will tell you this video will have errors. This video will not be overly edited. This video will be natural because that is what I feel communicates best with the consumer. I am a consumer myself. And when I am subjecting myself to people selling a product, I am often overwhelmed. They create this sense of FOMO. They have it, hyper visualizations. They have edits. They have all of these things that make me feel like, oh no, am I missing out on something? This guy knows what he's talking about. Should I act now? Should I act fast? And I get that that's marketing. I am not a businessman. I am not a salesman. I am not a marketer. My goal in this industry, that is the sports betting industry, is to communicate with an audience of people like myself who are looking for honesty, looking for truth, and are really looking at the bare bones of what a product has to offer and, trusting that the consumer, you, can do what you want with that information. So that being said, I'm going to take a breath. I'm going to make this video as I am comfortable making this video. And I think Corbie, the creator of Bettor Odds, will respect that. And if he doesn't, he can tell me to take the video down. How about that? In this video, we're going to talk about the background of what Bettor Odds even is. We're going to talk about its features, plus EV, DFS, arbitrage, and my personal favorite, something that I think is truly unique in this industry, something that I have not seen to the level that Corbie and the Bettor Odds team have created, is the Parlay Builder. And then we're going to talk about some general warnings as it relates to just some things that I think need to be said when you bet into these type of markets and you participate in sports betting in this area. Now, I talk a lot. I try to be detailed. So the ×2 speed button at the bottom is there for a reason. If you want to make this video go a little bit faster, you can click that. I've also time-stamped it so you can see everything I talk about in this video. That way you can click around and find what is valuable to you. So we'll start with some background. As I said, I'm not a salesman. The purpose of this video is to get Bettor Odds and its product in front of your eyes, not necessarily to convert you to a sub. If it's something that looks valuable to you and worth the money, by golly, go sign up for it. If not, maybe you'll learn something else from this video. I believe that the creator of this product, Corbie, is a real deal. Is the real deal. I think there's a lot of fakers in this industry, and I think Corbie, or CC, is not a faker. This is a message that I sent him over 2 years ago. I said, I'd love to chat sometime. Been doing this for 2 years. Actually quit my job teaching high school this winter to do it full time. Ever wanted to bounce ideas or need help working on projects, let me know. He said, yeah, I'd love to chat. Always trying to learn more. We have hired 2 developers to help build tools like this EV bot and attempt to make the product that people can truly find undeniable value from. We're always looking for more ideas. EV is a low hanger that most novices can use and love, but I understand it's not scalable. So one, this shows you that he recognizes that plus EV betting is here for a good time, not a long time. He recognizes that maybe bottom-up betting, not necessarily top-down betting, is something that can make your accounts last longer. It shows that he's done this for a long time. He's been building this tool for a long time, and he reached out to me and he said, would you mind making a video just covering it? The product is finally at a spot after 2 years or more of building where I want to get this in front of as many eyes as possible. They've added some new things. So, I think credibility is important. And I just want to say that I hard vouch for CC. I think he's a good dude. I think he knows his stuff. And if that comes back to bite me, I apologize. So again, this tool is all encompassing. It combines not only top down or using the market to guide your bets, also bottom up styles, making your own line. So let's get into it. I know that price is important. It's the most important. And if I am someone who's wanting to sign up for this as a consumer, I'm going to say, well, yeah, how much does it cost? Before you even tell me how much am I going to have to pay? I will tell you that the most extreme plan, the full-on all-access plan, is $69 a month. Corbie, why are you doing it? $69, buddy? Really? $70 a month. They're introducing a live betting feeds, and I'm face-palming because this is a $10. I told you I'm not a salesman, but adding in live feeds for only $10 a month in this industry is absurd. That is a crazy deal. A lot of times when you go and add on live feeds to a subscription package for plus EV betting for all these sites that have them, you're paying quadruple the amount of a standard subscription, and he's adding it in for 1/7 of the total cost, not quadruple, 1/7. Unbelievable. They have also some other plans. We'll talk about the projections and the EV, and you can kind of decide. I think that the best value is probably to pay for it all. However, a cool thing is, we'll talk about this at the end, there's a code, 3 free days to the all access plan plus 90% off your first month. So you get a month and 3 days for $7 using the code that we'll talk about at the end. So that's how much it costs. I think it's pretty affordable in the grand scheme of this industry. And I think it can return your money if you use it wisely and use it well. On the homepage is this nice YouTube series that Corbie has created. So while I'm going to breeze through a lot of these things, he breaks down all of the different categories in more detail. And it took me about 20 minutes to watch all of these. So if you're still confused about things, go to his homepage, listen to it from his mouth. You can do that for free if you need maybe an extra set of information that you didn't get from me. I think it's cool that he explains everything and has that for you. So we'll start with the EV feed. This is what it looks like. This is pretty typical in the industry. It shows the event, the bet, a suggested bet size, an expected profit, and then a weighted market average, right? So the weighted market average of this, or the quote unquote maybe fair odds, is minus 190. You're getting this player prop for minus 155. Cool feature is if you click on the bet and go to show book feed, it pops up with all of the actual books and all of their lines. So you can see on Bet365, not only is it minus 195, and not only does Corbie project this or make this a fair price at minus 190, you can see that Caesars was offering the over at 210. So not only does the EV feed show you just raw value, it can even point you to an opportunity where you can make guaranteed money in an arbitrage function. So cool feature. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I think a lot of you know about plus EV betting, but I do want to get this in front of your face so you can see that it is part of the subscription. It also shows the historic odds. It shows how this line has moved over time, and as limits have gone up, because as it gets closer to game time, limits go up. You can see how the line has moved. If you were to click on any of these, say you wanted to see why Hard Rock moved for whatever reason, you could click that and it would highlight Hard Rock's individual line, and you can see how they have moved. So you would just click on show historics there on the site for that. The last thing I'll say about the EV feed is it has a cool filter where you can mark different settings that you prefer. And then if you save them, it can go to, or your settings over here, it will be saved under my feed. Sorry, these are two different things, the filter and the your settings. Either way, this general sort of EV feed is going to be standard on the site, but I don't have Bovada. I don't use Bovada. So when I would go over here to the your settings page, I would just turn off Bovada. So I'm not giving those lines. So it's all customizable, all can be managed so that it fits your needs. The DFS feed is something that I think has value to maybe a small amount of people. I use PrizePicks, Underdog, Betr, DraftKings Pick 6 only for promos. I think these books at one point were very manipulable, very soft. You could do well on them, and I think they have just increased their hold and increased their vig, and I don't think there's as much glaring value. I'm sure somebody has an edge that they're not telling you about, but overall, I think it's in a bad spot. These books are, but there are still worthwhile opportunities out there with promotions, specifically on DraftKings Pick 6. So what I can do is I can come on here and I can say, what's the best line on average? Okay. And this is just showing a few books, but if I cut it out so it fit on the screen. If you scroll down, you can see all of the books, Pinnacle, FanDuel, Circa. Where are all of these books in terms of odds, right? The best bet I could make according to the market is probably Shea under 6.5 assists. That's the best line on DraftKings Pick 6 right now. Now, is it great? No, all right, but it's the best option that I have. So this helps you kind of build out different slips for PrizePick, Underdog, the apps where you just have to take player props over unders. So cool feature if you use those books and you want to squeeze a little bit of value out of them. That's the screen view. If you click on feed mode right here, it will take you to what looks like this, and you can kind of see them in a different formation. You can hover over the book details. You could see, okay, Pinnacle has the over at minus 124. If we take the over 6.5, we can assume, minus 124 is a little bit of juice, so it's an okay. It has a slightly greater than 50% chance to hit, so maybe that's an okay bet to take on whatever book this would be. I think it was pick 6, but regardless, that's a DFS feed, probably to a small niche of users, but important nonetheless. Arbitrage feed, you all know arbitrage. Hopefully, it is how you bet on two different books of the same line or opposite lines of the same game to ensure some guaranteed profit. You can go up here, you can sort by your books. I've done that, and then it will generate you guaranteed money. Now, what some people use this for is to create a 0% synthetic hold. So they may look at this, somebody may look at this bet and say, wow, Circa has the over at plus 105, which means they probably have the under at minus 115, minus 120. So if Circa's under is at minus 120, minus 115, MGM's under at plus 100 is a good bet because Circa is sharp. Circa takes a lot of action. Circa maybe is the gold standard. Okay, so if you want to use the arbitrage, not necessarily to find arbs, but to find these 0% or these low synthetic holds where you're kind of comping a sharp book, such as Pinnacle down here, right? Pinnacle has the Liberty fair price at minus 176. So the Indiana Fever at plus 180. If you think Pinnacle is sharp for women's basketball for the WNBA, the Fever at plus 180 would be a quote unquote good bet. So that is another way you can use the arbitrage tool. Now, we'll move into projections, which I want to talk just a little bit more about because this is the coolest thing because it's unique. And Corbie not only has provided users with top-down betting or looking at the market and then determining what's a good bet, but he's also provided his own projections, his own bottom-up, his own numbers. So if Corbie, who has made money doing this over 4 and 5 years, if he was a book, if he had to set his own lines, he's telling you this is where I would set it. Now, he only right now is doing MLB, but he will do college basketball and college football. Those are the sports that he projects. Those are the sports that he originates. So you can see here the matchups for MLB today. These are for main markets. We'll talk about player props in a second. And he's very clear that these are his opening projections. Things move, injuries happen, lineups come out, weather, like there are moving parts. He posts his original line and they don't move. So, there's still some responsibility on the user to understand that and maybe move with information within the market, whereas his projections may not. So if we look specifically today, you see, if you can sort it, I sorted it by a 3.5% edge on money line. You can see that the Colorado Rockies, he says, should be priced at plus 212. According to his projections, they should win this game 23.39% of the time or have a fair odds price of 212. They are getting plus 327. So does that mean you should bet the Colorado Rockies? I don't know. I don't care. Maybe. If you like the Rockies and you trust his projections and you think there should, sure. It doesn't mean that you should run to the window and slam this. And I don't think Corbie would tell you that. But I think it's a good tool to have an understanding. Now, there's two ways to think about this. Maybe it doesn't mean you go out and slam the Rockies, but what you can do is when FanDuel gives you a stepped up boost where you got to add a bunch of legs, MLB, to earn yourself 100% profit boost, and you want to throw in the Braves because they look like a lock because they're minus 370, you may look at this and you may say, Corbie hasn't priced it about minus 212. Maybe it's not the smartest thing to throw in a minus 370 as a guaranteed leg, right? Just an idea. So while you may not use this for what you do bet, you can also use it as a way to maybe be cautious about what you don't bet, and that be the Atlanta Braves. So here's a look at his MLB player projections, and I think this is going to be more useful to the people watching this video. I think it's just more transferable across bettors, and I think you can get a bigger edge on player props. MLB main lines, all main lines are much more efficient. So player props, there's obviously more room to get after a book. So today, right, he has Soler to hit a home run. His odds, his fair price is 355. The market average is about 600, gives it about a 7% edge. Again, I don't think Corbie would tell you to go out and bet Soler. I think he's just saying that he likes Soler in this matchup quite a bit more than the books do. So let's take a look at what happens when you click on these little arrows and you flip this prop over. So in this case, Vinny Pasquantino to record a run. Corbie prices it about minus 103, so just over a 50% chance to win, just negligibly over a 50% chance to win, and the market average is at plus 115. So when you flip this over, you hit this arrow, it shows all of the book's prices, and you can see that his projected price is minus 103. FanDuel likes it even more. FanDuel's at minus 120. And then you can see all the way up to Fanatics, who is giving you the best line on him to score a run at plus 115. Now, what the adjusted Bettor Odds fair price is Corbie is saying, look, I am only one person. I understand that I am not the world's greatest MLB bettor, and my numbers are not pinnacle, are not circle. I don't reign supreme. So I'm going to take my number, but I'm also going to factor in everybody else who takes thousands of dollars from people all day long and are probably sharp, okay, in some respects, sharper, okay? And he's going to use all this information to give you an adjusted fair price. And he says the adjusted fair price here is 115. Well, we can get 116, which means at worst, he says, if you like the prop, you're getting it fair. Like, it's not a bad line. You're not, the juice there is not going to kill you long term. If we assume that he is good at this, which I believe he is, if you bet this price at 115 over 2,000 samples, at worst, maybe you stomach some you're probably going to break even, right? Is kind of how you can ballpark that and think about it. Now let's look at another example, the Joe Adele home run prop. He says 440, market average is 560. You flip this over and you see that his projection, 444, is similar to ProfitX 440, flip at 465. And you go over here to the adjusted price using all the data from all of the lines that exist in the market. The fair adjusted price is 583. So it's a little bit worse than his 444, but MGM still looks like it has value. I don't know what this app is, so forgive me. DraftKings still looks like it has value. So, DraftKings has a risk-free home run bet today. Okay, if I want to make the most informed decision and I trust what Corbie is saying, maybe I use my home run insurance or home run boost on Joe Adele today because 650 would be plus EV to Corbie's number and to the market. It's a plus EV situation, both from a top-down perspective and an originated bottom-up perspective. So again, this is not something that I think you should get on every day and just start slamming. You can if you want, but I think the nuance that he provides within can give you a more holistic perspective, and that's what I respect, and that's what I like about this. Now, let's talk about the Parlay Builder, because boy howdy, this thing saves me time. It can save you time, and I think it's fantastic. So this is something that works for both parlays and same-game parlays. We're going to talk about parlays first. Line shopping for straight bets is easy. You want Clayton Kershaw's strikeout prop tonight? You can probably find something out there that can give you the list of odds for free with all the books, and you can take it at the best price. But parlaying these gets a little bit trickier. All books are priced at different things across different disciplines, and so going in and manually doing all that is tough. So what his website has is a Parlay Builder. They also have a same game, which we'll talk about. So let's say you want Dodgers money line, Orioles money line, and Mets money line tonight. You want to make that parlay. So you go in to this Parlay Builder and you type in all these things in the search bar, Dodgers money line, you click it, select prop, Baltimore, select prop, Mets, select prop. Then you hit this button up here, generate parlay slip. And what it does is it shows you where the 3-team combo pays out the most. In this case, Novig at 379. It also tells you a market average or a fair price. The fair price of this is likely 390. So you're getting a slightly negative EV opportunity here. It's not fair. But it's, if you're set on it, if you're going to bet, like, that's the way of the land. There's always going to be big. There's always going to be juice. You're not always going to be able to bet, a massive edge. And so Novig is the place that you're going to want to bet it. And you may, a lot of people still don't, whether they don't understand the concept or whether they don't respect the concept, I don't know which it is. But you can also see the price at every other book. So these are like the top 10 books. There was more down here that I didn't include, but I've included them over here. I want to show you why this matters. People hate line shopping. People hate getting the bet. I get it. Casual sports bettors don't want to talk about price, but let's talk about price. A $25 bet on this wager, this 3-team wager on Novig would return $94.75. On FanDuel, $87.75. On DraftKings, $82.25. And on Fliff, $77.25. This is the worst one. That's a massive difference on a $25 bet. Like, it doesn't sound massive. Well, it's just a few bucks. Yeah, that's big, right? If somebody says, hey, I'm going to give you $94.75 or I'm going to give you $77.25 for the exact same job, you can mow an acre at this guy's house or mow an acre at this guy's house. They have the equal amount of trees. They have equal size mowers. Like, everything is equal. The only thing is one guy's willing to pay you $17 more. Nobody's going to mow Fliff's yard. You shouldn't be mowing Fliff's yard. This is why this is helpful. This is where it can return value. So even if you want to talk about, well, I don't want to pay $70 a month. Even if you just get a better line and you hit this play, right, you've saved yourself. Oh, I would have bet that on Fliff. Well, congratulations. You saved yourself $17 for one play, right? And I realize that's not the perfect analogy, but I'm trying to show you that I do believe that this site has value. Now, the same game for parlay features is crucial because of correlation. Books charge correlation factors on their parlays. If you want to bet Dodgers money line, the Dodgers pitcher Clayton Kershaw to have over five strikeouts, and Shohei Ohtani to hit a home run, this bet is correlated. It implies that the Dodgers are having success from their pitcher and from their batting. Therefore, their money line is more likely to happen. So books are going to punish you for that. You're never going to get, if you combine all three of these odds into a parlay calculator, you're never going to get true fair value. Because if Ohtani hits a home run and Clayton Kershaw is dealing, it is more likely than not that the Dodgers will win the game. Every book is going to price this differently, and you're going to see that. So what you can do is you can go on here and you can input this. Dodgers money line, Clayton Kershaw over strikeouts, Ohtani home run. And you can see that on Corbie, that's Ballybet, that's Bat Rivers, you're getting plus 600, which means that Corbie is not charging as much for correlation as other books. It's a little nugget for you. Okay. Now, fair odds would be about 7-1. So same game parlays are likely a losing battle. There are people who have same game parlay edges. There are people who can price correlation in a way that they can find advantages. The bottom line is most same game parlays have such a massive hold that they are losing battles for the average bettor. There are outliers and there are people who do this. So if you're going to do it, at least find the best price. Okay. Here is the example again. 600 on Corbie, 594 on FanDuel, 550, 510, 500, 488 on the books that are available. So again, every book prices correlation differently. This is such a cool and unique tool to where if you are set on building a same game parlay for an event, come on here and check and see where the best place to bet it is. Last thing I'll talk about is their Discord. It is free with a subscription. It has typical Discord things. Cool spot is the official wagers page. So anything that pops on Corbie's website that we just went through that he really likes, or anything that he originates for whatever reason elsewhere, things of that nature, he will post in the official wagers. So you will get anything that the guy who created this is betting, who tracks and who can show his data over time. All right. They also have a place where you can set alerts, which is cool. If you don't want to just sit on the website all day and check the EV feed over and over, on the Discord, you can just set alerts. Hey, alert me when there's a FanDuel EV play of over 3%. Boom. Now you don't have to sit all day on the website. Your phone buzzes. Oh, okay. I need to bet Clayton Kershaw's over strikeouts. It's good to the market and to his projection. Boom. You can get that. So that's a cool feature. And then lastly, I just wanted to show you how quickly and how responsive and how much Corbie cares about this, this product that he's built. So at 2:04, I said, hey, have a question about something I saw in the projections feed today when you have a second. I just posted this in a random thread. I actually posted it in the MLB chat thread. Within a minute, less than a minute, he responds, hit me. And I laughed at this because he said, and I'm going to spoil this, he said to me, I'm always on this. Test me. He said, when you go to make this video, just ping me and I will respond. And I always respond because this is my life. I care about this. This is my baby. I want this to be something that is useful to people. So I said, sorry, user error. I got it to work. Guess I just had to be a bother. I sent him a wink so he'd know what I was talking about. The dude's on a boat. Dude's on a boat. He's out water skiing. Rain, sunshine, I'm here for you. In other words, he's working around the clock. He's here to help you. All right. So the last thing I will say, and this is just a warning, is educated betting, EV betting, those things books don't like, and they can often get you limited. Top-down betting using Corbie's projections are probably going to make your accounts last longer. And, I just want to say that you have to be aware that, I can no longer bet big on my accounts because I have bet plus EV wagers for 2 and 3 years, and books got tired of it. And so I've been limited. And I just want you to be aware that this is not a money printer. This is not something that's going to, you're going to quit your job and be able to do this full time. Like, there's going to be a time where things come to an end for you if you're winning money. And so, just I want you to be aware of that. All right. It doesn't mean you can't make money in the short term. It doesn't mean that the limits are going to be so severe that your account is closed down. Right? I can still get money on a lot of these props. It's not significant, but it's at the end of the month, you round up your winnings, you get a few bites out to eat, you maybe pay for an internet and a water bill, right? Things of that nature. Just be aware that this is not something that's going to make you the beneficiary of financial freedom. All right. Code relaunch. If you use the link in my description, you're going to get 3 free days and you're going to get 90% off. I don't believe his live is out. I don't believe the live is out. So if you want to wait for that, I don't blame you. I think it's probably plus EV to wait for that live. Otherwise, make sure you use my link. Every code is relaunched, so I don't know how he's going to check and see if this video is even worthwhile to him. Come on, Corbie. Give me a link. Give me a GMG link. Give me something unique. It's okay. But if you want to use my link, maybe he can track it that way. I don't heckin' know. All right, guys. If this was interesting to you, check it out. Good luck, and we will see you on the next one.